Good evening. I'm sorry I can't be with you this evening. Duncan asked me a few weeks ago if I could say some words about my experience of churches together in Horsforth, and I was very much looking forward to that before I was called away. I'd just like to start by a passage that I'm sure you're all familiar with from John chapter 17. Jesus, in the Garden of Gethsemane, prays for his disciples. I ask not only on behalf of these, but also on behalf of those who will believe in me through their word, that they may all be one, as you, Father, are in me, and I am in you. May they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. Well, all my life the churches have been working on that prayer, that they may all be one. And there's been all sorts of initiatives through the ecumenical movement to try to bring our churches together after centuries of division upon division upon division. In the year that I was born, the Anglican and Methodist Church set up their latest commission in working out how they might be one, and that came to the point in 1971 of us almost becoming one church, the two denominations joining together. The Methodists, I believe, were keen. I was only 6 at the time, so I can't remember that much about it. But the Anglicans, at the very last minute, decided that we don't actually like the Methodists that much after all. So we decided to do something different, to have a covenant relationship, to talk more about how we might be united and what unity might mean. Since then, there's been councils and synods, committees and covenants, reports and conversations, not just between our two denominations, but between all the major denominations of the Christian Church. And out of that was born churches together, groups of Christians in different places coming together to work out what unity might mean. Well, that meant a lot of talking, a lot of reading reports, a lot of head scratching about what our similarities are and what our differences are. When I came to Horsforth, I found that churches together here were tackling these issues in a rather different way. They were placing their stress on the end of the passage I've just read, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. The focus was not inward looking, trying to compare all the things we do and all the things we say, but rather outward looking, thinking about how we share our faith with the people of Horsforth. It meant that there were key moments in the year when we openly shared our Christian faith. Particularly, we might think of carols in the park or the Good Friday Walk of Witness. There was our Hope in the Park, where we hosted an event for the families that aimed to share our knowledge and love of Jesus. And also, there was service to the community. Churches together in Horsforth have always been proactive in finding ways to serve the community, whether it's through the Live at Home scheme, the farmers market, the food bank, and more recently the food pantry, or all sorts of ways where they might serve the needs of our community. And by working together to proclaim God's love for the world outside our church doors, by focusing together on how we might fulfill that prayer, that the world may believe that Jesus had been sent by God to show the way. They've built up churches together that I believe has a strength that is the envy of pretty much any other churches together in the entire country. And at the heart of this, there is a unity that involves talking, that involves meetings. Particularly, I think of the gatherings of the church leaders for lunch from time to time. Because in these gatherings, and at a time when we pray together, we come to recognize our shared faith. We realize that unity is not about all liking to do the same things on Sunday mornings. It's not all about liking to sing the same songs, or to wear the same type of clothes, or to worship in the same sort of buildings, or any of those external elements of our Christian faith. But unity exists in our faith in Jesus Christ, that as we spend time together, we recognize is alive and well in traditions that are very different to our own. I am an Anglican through and through. I don't want to be a Baptist. I don't want to be a Roman Catholic. I don't even want to be a Methodist. But through the fellowship of our churches, I recognize the strength of the Christian gospel being witnessed in all of these churches and others. And that gives us confidence that when we are talking to those in the community, we are respectful of one another. When we recognize that another church might be able to help somebody better than we can, we're happy to commend them into the care of others. And when we need a bit of help ourselves, then our brothers and sisters in other churches are willing to roll up their sleeves and get involved. There's been many times in the last 12 years when I've appreciated so much the help and support, both in prayer and in practical ways, of my fellow Christians in the other denominations around town. And all of this is a strength that is perhaps not always recognised as deeply as it should. It means that churches together are respected by those in the community. It gives us the right to be able to speak of our faith. For me, I'll be moving on soon, and I can only hope that in my new area there is anything like the strength of ecumenical cooperation I find here. But for all of you continuing the work in Horsforth, I will continue to pray for you and commend this legacy you've received, that you may continue to proclaim the love of Jesus in this place and for this community. God bless and take care. Good night.